Hey guys, welcome back to Spoonfull of Jelly. My name is Lauren and we are picking up April's Azure order. I have been with Azure for 10 years. I think we started in one state, I believe it was Illinois. And then when we moved to Minnesota, we actually picked up order theirs. And then we moved down south and that's where we're picking up orders for the last 3 years. We have enjoyed Azure for plethora of reasons, and since I am waiting on the truck right now, I figure I will share with you the reasons why I love Azure. Number one, it is the gluten-free options. And 14 years ago, my husband realized that he was having severe reactions to gluten, and the first thing I was looking for was where to buy pasta, bread, you name it. At that time, Azure had 2 other companies they don't currently carry, but it gave me a great introduction to those companies at a very reasonable price. Sometimes it was a headache just to find the product in the store. When I found it in the store, then I went back, they didn't have any more. With Azure, I was able to order 3-4 loaves of bread at a time, keep them in the freezer, and then pull them out as needed. So I love their gluten-free options. Number 2, I like the fact that it makes me think about the whole entire month. That has been so helpful of learning how to run a household. My parents, my dad, the way he was paid, my mom would grocery shop once a month. I never knew that until my husband was put on that type of pay system for work. And then my mom was like, oh yeah, and this is how you do it. And I'm like, Now you tell me. But Azure truly helped with that. You know why? Because I had to think from one point of date to another, exactly what do we need to eat, and Azure provided that. If we go through 3 bags of chips in a month, I can order all 3 bags at once versus one now and then go back to the store in another week and buy another. I was able to cut out all that running around in minutia when I'm able to think a whole entire month ahead. And that was one of the benefits of Azure. It forces you to really think about what you eat in one whole month. Number 3, small to medium-sized businesses are celebrated and loved when it comes to Azure. You can go to any grocery store in America and you're going to find the large corporations. Sometimes people do not know that certain products are actually owned by the larger company. They usually start off as a small, medium-sized size company, and then when they want to make it into a grocery store, they need to be able to come up with a certain quantity by a certain date all the time. And that means they had to sell out. It's hard to meet that distribution on a medium scale business model. And so that's why I love Azure, because at some point in time they will send out a message and say this particular product is unavailable, meaning you had to wait until the next season to order it. And as someone who makes jams and jellies and sell them, I know what it means to run out of a product. And it's not my fault. It's because strawberries grow in the spring and it's November. We sold all we're going to sell. And I respect companies who live by that model of not being able to give, especially Americans, what they want when they want it just because they want it. And that there is a growing season for those items. So I love the fact that medium and small businesses are celebrated and upheld in Azure standards. They're literal standards. So I believe we're on number 4, right? 4th reason why I like Azure. That 4th reason is dairy free. My son has a dairy free allergy, and we have noticed over the last, I would say 6 years, that raw milk items he can digest, but it has to be in limited quantities. Like he can't chug a glass of milk on a day-to-day basis. But if I cook with a raw milk item, he can digest it with very minimum reaction. Azure is able to sell us raw milk cheese. Azure is able to sell dairy-free items such as chips and like cheese chips and I think they sell follow your heart items. I don't buy that often, but they're there. Salad dressings is there. And if you are in need of dairy-free items with a much better price in the grocery store, check out Azure Standard. I have loved the fact that I can get those items. Now I make my own ranch seasoning, which will lead me into number 5. But I make my own ranch seasoning. But just in case you don't and you want a store-bought version, Azure has it cheaper. And number 5 is all the different seasoning mixes. My husband is gluten-free. My son is dairy-free. That means a typical seasoning packet that you'll get from like the Red Top Company or those little packets that has all the grilling seasoning, we can buy it. Almost always is milk or milk derivative in it, and almost always it has wheat in it to make it thick. And we can't do it. And so I miss out on all kind of fun flavors. But Azure not only sells their own mixes, but Azure also gives you some mixes that are already available to mix yourself. They give you different seasonings, or you can buy different seasonings that you can mix yourself. So I can make my own ranch seasoning by just buying the dried goods and mix it myself. I get a better product because it's fresher, it tastes better. And then number 2, I get a larger quantity for it. So instead of buying little packets of ranch seasoning, going home and dumping into your sour cream or into your mayonnaise and milk to make dressing, I'm able to make a larger batch. It lasts longer, and then I can manipulate it any way I want. And I love that for Azure. Thank you so much for that. So let's get out the car, because I believe the truck is here, and I'll see you guys at home on more ways that we have enjoyed and loved Azure for the last 10 years. This is our Azure order for April. We have 3 boxes of the Jovo gluten-free farfalle pasta. Farfalle. It's the bow tie pasta. I did not take Italian. Bless you. And then we ended up with 3 boxes of the gluten-free tiny shells. We like these 2 pastas in the spring and summer because pretty much the pasta is right there on the cover. A veggie, a sauce, and it's ready to go for a quick lunch. All right, we have maple syrup, tamari. This is the gluten-free by Sanjay. And we have another 3 pounds of berry wild flower honey. This is 5 pounds of Himalayan salt. We have been buying that for about 3 years. We also buy Ribbon's real salt, but that's the other alternative. We have white popcorn. I usually buy 5 pounds, I thought. We've had a debacle on how much popcorn we usually get a year, but I believe we're going through more of it now, so we got another 40 ounces. Package of basil. We're going to get these seeds in the ground soon. Thyme. I know we're growing thyme, but I needed some backup because we're completely out from last summer. 4 ounces. This is quite large and it's filled to the top. So 4 ounces of thyme, ground turmeric, and these granola bars. We wanted to taste them. My son loves them. I find them to be okay. It's such a tiny, tiny bar. I think this bar is no more than like 3 inches. It's so tiny. But my son loves them. He could put them in his lunch, finish out the rest of the school year. But that is it. Very small, but very powerful. And let's discuss why. One thing that people do not understand with Azure, you do not have to buy large quantities that you often see on YouTube channels. Azure hauls do not have to cost you thousands of dollars. We do not do that. We stick around $100 to $200 every month, and we typically take a break in the winter months so we can save up money for other projects. When we get home from our products, we do store them in larger containers. It's much easier to have one large container that can hold 4 or 5 boxes of gluten-free pasta versus having 4 boxes sitting on a shelf. Plus, everybody knows rodents love cardboard boxes. So, the easier and quicker you can get rid of those, the better. This haul represents all the things that we need that we cannot grow, that we try our best to buy from smaller companies. We used to be able to get maple syrup directly from a maple company in Minnesota, but now that we moved further south, it is much more difficult to get maple syrup that's local. I did find a source, which I'll tap into that hopefully this summer, but for right now, we're going to keep supporting Azure. We do not grow all kind of herbs. We do not grow or harvest our own salt. So we try to get what we do not grow from Azure, not only because of the quantity, but for the freshness. They are not looking to have 3 years worth of preserves in a factory and ship them out in these cute little bottles with their labels on it. They will often sell out, and we love that because that means that season is over and you should have grabbed it while it was hot. That way, you have it in your home and you can preserve it your way. If you are ever thinking of investing in your health, organic and natural and local is about the best you can do. It is the quintessential way of living all over the world. But here in the United States, we have made it a habit for a couple generations that if you want it, you can have it no matter where it's coming from, no matter if it has any nutritional value in it. We are all about nutritional value. We want the most macronutrients as we could possibly get, and that's available when it's this close to home in our same country. Okay, we've been with Azure. Okay, so we've been with Azure 10 years. What are a couple of your favorite
The
parts?
the thing I like about Azure is the variety. I also like the fact that it's convenient and that you're able to get organic food from anywhere. Well, you're able to get organic food. What I especially like is the amount of gluten-free options they have. Being gluten-free, it's difficult to find many foods and foods that are normal, quote unquote. So I really love the fact that they have a huge variety of gluten free and other products. I love like nuts and things like that. So,
The bulk items.
yes,
Yeah.
cashews are my favorite. You want to send some to me? I won't turn them down. But those are the reasons I love Azure.
Great. Azure for 10 years. What is your favorite thing about getting food from the truck?
Lemons.
Yeah, what about the lemons?
I like sour and they're sour. And even we make lemonade out of them. And I just want to say I like the sound of the truck.
You like the sound of the truck? Yeah, because it's refrigerated. It makes a good humming sound, huh?
That's the sound.
Oh. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.